back to my channel. So I was just thinking about human beings. I think human beings are the most luckiest, beautiful and more powerful creature in this world, because we as a human being have many skills. We know how to communicate and we have the ability to relate ourselves with others, and we know how to make a good judgment, and we have the skill to change our roles according to the social situation or social institutions for the proper social functioning. And we know how to change our behavioral pattern according to different culture, norms, rules, regulation. We as a human beings learning this process through the process called socialization. So today we can talk about socialization. So what is meant by socialization? So socialization is a process through which children and adults learn from others. Okay, so some people or many people have the misconception that socialization is only for infant or children, but it is not like that. Psychologists now realize that socialization is a continuous process till our death. As long as humans learn from social experiences, socialization is existing in every human being. So how and what are the importance of socialization in an individual? So we as an individual born in this world as a biologically called as man. From this biologically being man, we need to change ourselves as a social animal or social being. And the process from a biologically called man through a social animal is called socialization. And through this socialization process is actually we are understanding how we can interact with others, power of communication skill, and how to behave with others. And if a person is not undergoing all this socialization process, what happened? I think you are familiar with the stories of Amala and Kamala. And these two human children was completely apart from human society or human life, and they don't know they are not familiar with human care, human love, and the most important human communication skill. So they don't know how to behave and they don't have any skill to communicate. So if a human being is not moving through this socialization process, we cannot be a social animal. The second importance of socialization is socialization contributing for the development of personality of a individual. So we can say that personality is a product of society, and through the society and through the socialization process, an individual understanding the way how they can change their personality, and through this process called socialization they are molding and changing their personality, and they are understanding the way of social life in their society. So the third importance of socialization is it helps us to become disciplined. So as I mentioned before, socialization is a social learning process. Through this social learning process, we understand value, ideals, aims, objective of our life. And through this understanding these values, we are actually forming the way of how our life should be. So the fourth importance of socialization is it helps us to enact different roles. So as I mentioned in my previous video, as a human being, we have to perform different roles according to different social institutions. Okay, so we are learning the roles, behavior of this role and the importance of these roles according to social institution through the process called socialization. And as a human being, if we are not a part of socialization, we fail to perform the proper social functioning of this role, and role conflict can happen to an individual. And the last point, socialization helps to provide skills. So socialization, or through this socialization process, we are getting the skill to perform, go for the occupation, education, and many other skills. Okay, so all this happening through this process called socialization. So the socialization have different types. So the first type of socialization is called as primary types of socialization. So the word primary itself, primary socialization refers to the socialization of an infant. Through this socialization process or the primary socialization, the infant learns the skills of language, cognitive ability, and to understand the values and norms in our particular society. So the second type of socialization is secondary socialization. So in primary socialization, an infant learns their behavior from family itself, whereas in secondary socialization process, the children learn their different kinds of socialization process or social learning from different social institutions. So the most important agent of secondary socialization is one's peer group. Through the peer group, we are learning more importance of social learning and more skills for social learning or social process. Third one is adult socialization. So here the main importance of adult socialization, the individual enter into different roles. Say for example, we are entering into a role called employee or wife or husband. So in primary and secondary socialization process, we are not learning what to do as a employee or as a husband and child. So these roles we are actually getting the knowledge of these roles through adult socialization process. And here the adult socialization process have the power to overt our behavior, whereas child socialization help us to understand values. So there are certain agents which help us to understand socialization or which helping us to move through this process called socialization. So the first one is family. So through the family, infant is actually learning some of the values and norms. And second one, religion. Religion actually help us to understand certain belief system or certain culture of our society. And third one, peer group. So as I mentioned before, that is in secondary socialization. Peer group is one of the important institution, and through this peer group we are learning many social norms. And mass media is also one of the important agent. So mass media can attain a large number of audience for giving different knowledge of our society or our world. So these are the most important or major things you have to know about socialization. Next one is social control. Generally speaking, social control is nothing but the control of a society over an individual. So why a society is controlling over an individual? Because we as an individual having different kinds of behavioral pattern. Sometimes our behavior is not appropriate for society. So for getting a desired behavior, society making control over human being. Okay, so because we need a desired behavior from individual, because we need to make a proper functioning of a society. That's why the social control is existing in a society. So the first need of social control is considered as re-establishing all social system. So actually we are living as a human being, we are living in a society, and the social control is actually to make a social order, because we need to follow the system of society which our forefather followed for making a continuity and uniformity in our society. So the second need of social control is considered as regulation of human social behavior. I think that I already discussed. So society actually need a desired behavior from individual, or if society is not making control over human beings, we can behavior whatever the way we need. But for a proper social functioning, it is not possible or it is not apt. So society need to make a social control to get a proper or desired behavior according to the societal norms, culture, rules and regulations. Social unity. So we already discussed that we all need a particular kinds of social behavior in a society. So when the societal behavior become proper, or we can say that similar, we can make a uniformity in a society. The last importance of social control is to bring solidarity, because we are living in a competitive world. So in a society you can see the strongest or the weaker group and stronger group. So there is a tendency of the strongest group to attack the weaker group. So for bringing the social order or solidarity, we need a social control over the society. So that's why there are, you can see many organizations and institutions to control all this social order. So next we can talk about social changes. Okay, so in the sociological terms we can say that social change is the alteration of mechanism in social structure. Say for example, changes in cultural symbol or social behavior or roles of social behavior, all these considered as social changes. Or in the broad sense we can say that social change is the changes in social relations. So the first theory of social change is considered as evolution theory. So what evolutionary theorists believe that society is always changing or gradually changing from a simple beginning to a more complex form. So according to them, social change means a progress towards something better. Okay, so something better means they always think in a positive and beneficial way as social changes. So social change actually helping the society or the world to form a positive and beneficial for human beings. So that is a major assumption, or that is a major thinking of evolutionary theorists. And also evolutionary theorists believe that so there is a proper sequence for these changes, and all the societies are actually changing through this particular sequence. That is from beginnings to the end, there is a proper sequence. So what they believe that once the social changes reached into the last stage or the final stage, the evolutionary theory ends there. You can see there are mainly two types of evolutionary theories. So first evolutionary theory is considered as unilinear evolutionary theory, and second one multilinear evolutionary theory. So what unilinear theory proposed that society changes or constantly changes through same direction. So all the society changes through a same direction, and the unilinear theory was proposed by Herbert Spencer. Moving on to multilinear evolutionary theory, that is just opposite to unilinear. What unilinear says that the changes of society is from same direction, whereas multilinear says that the changes of society happened in different direction, and which was proposed by Gerard Lansky. Second one, functionalist theory. So the major thinker of functionalist theory was Talcott Parsons. So what they say is that it is not about what changes society, but it is actually what maintains the society. That is important. So the maintenance of society, or what maintains the society, is important rather than looking on to what changes the society. That means we have to look on how to maintain the system rather than changing the system. Okay, so here you have to remember maintaining the system rather than changing the system. So the next theory is equilibrium theory. The major thinker of equilibrium theory is also Talcott Parsons. So what Talcott Parsons says that if the changes happened in one part of a society, there can be an adjustment of another part of the society. That's why it is called as equilibrium. And if this equilibrium not happen to the society, this threaten the society. Like if one part of the society changes and if another part is not adjusted properly, so that is actually a threat for our society. So next one is cyclical theory. So Toynbee and Sorokin was considered the champion of this cyclical theory. So what cyclical theory says that our society is also having the same cyclical process like biological organism. We are having the cyclical process like birth, then maturity, old age, death. Same as our society also having this process. So this modern world or Western society is considered as the old stage of our society. Last theory is conflict theory. So conflict theory was proposed by Karl Marx. So what conflict theory says that our society is always in the state of conflict, and this conflict is actually for the limited resources. Conflict theory hold that the social order is actually held by the power people, and they have the right to hold weaker section and social order of our society. As I mentioned before, conflict theories actually hold on the things that, or hold on the assumption that our society is always in a conflict. So these conflict can lead to competition, revolution, structural inequality and war. And all these four factor can change our society into some other forms. Okay, so that is the major essence of a conflict theory. I think these all are the main content of our today's class, and now we can check the major question from the previous year UGC NET examination.
First question, which of the following social change regards changes in a linear manner? So the right answer is option A, evolutionary theory. Second one, factors in social change are predominantly, right answer option A, social and culture. Which of the following is included in social change? Option A, changes in age distribution, B, invention and popularization, C, changing concept of property, D, all of above. The right answer is option D, all of above. Next one, all of the following statements about socialization are true except option A, nearly all of the behavior that we consider to be human nature is actually learned through socialization. So this is a true statement. So we have to take which is false. Okay, so first statement is true. Second one, through socialization we learn how to walk, talk and feed ourselves. It is also true. C, socialization only occur during childhood. False, because socialization is a continuous process till our death. So the right answer is option C, socialization only occurs during childhood. D, Through socialization, we learn about social expectation. That is also true. So the right answer is option C. Socialization only occur during childhood. It is false. Who propound conflict theory of social change? Right answer option C. Karl Marx. The ultimate basis of social control is right answer option A. Social organization. Which of the following is not true about social control? Option A. It includes a formal and informal mode of collection control. It is true. And B. It refers to the restraint and direction of personal of group behavior so far. It is also true. Last one, it is system of land reforms. That is false. So the right answer is option C. It is system of land reforms. Term control involves right answer option A. The idea of restraint or direction. Next one, socialization brings man into relation with others, whereas dash make him autonomous or self-determining. So the right answer is option C. Individualization. Next one, the agent of socialization that usually provides children with their first system of values, norms and beliefs in their is actually the right answer option B. Family. Family is the first socialization agent. So next one, when an Indian couple prepares its daughters so that she is accepted in her husband's family after her marriage, it is a case of right answer option C. Anticipatory socialization that we haven't discussed. So anticipatory socialization occurs when we start learning new norms and values in anticipation of a role we will occupy in future. Okay, so that is actually preparing us for a role for our future. So say for example, in a law college, law students learning how to behave like lawyers, and older people trying to prepare for their retirement. So all this preparation actually happening for carrying out a role for their future. So that is called as anticipatory socialization. We are trying to learn new norms and values for dealing with or for doing our future roles. So these all are the major important types of question from this session. So study well. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any doubt, you can mail me on this mail ID. Thank you.